Today is October the 14th. This is Speak On It, a production by the Ritual Current team, nonprofit, here at CAN TV. Today we're going to get straight to the issue. This has been what I would call a sad, in many ways, week. Because something happened last week, Tuesday, I think, to a young girl, 11 years old, in an area designated by no magic, it's just designated because of some politics as a safe passage route. Let me just give you a little background on that. You know, back in 2010, after Eric Holder had come to Chicago and met with some people that I know and others, but the ones I know what they was doing. They was calling him when he got back. And then later on, there was an announcement, request for proposals to do a program that many of us would have called street intervention, prevention, mediation, etc. But the politics of it created what we have today. But back in that day, we were trying to prevent things. We were trying to mediate problems. We were trying to intervene in situations. But now you can't do that. Even the police can't do that. And that's the sadness of it. People are being victimized, and even the police can't intervene. They can't serve and protect. So how in the hell you think somebody with a highlighter vest on, that every creature that got any intent or any want to pretend to be doing something, just put it on. Just go to any store, anywhere, and just buy it and put it on. And you be called a safe passage worker. Now, I'm doing it like this because I don't want to get into the mess that's been going on these damn radio stations this week. Situation is that back in the day in 2010, when Holder brought that money here from Obama, that's the only thing I think Obama did that made sense to street level in Chicago that I'm aware of, is he provided that $60 million plus, and out of that, there was a program created. The umbrella was Culture Calm, and it had 4 components. And right here at CAN TV, me, Boise, Wally Muhammad, and others sit in the basement when we was on Green Street, and we planned, we worked on that proposal because they had just announced it and we was just doing a show. And we sit there, and then we got other people and we met, and we put together something, and then when we got to the point of submitting it, they made it clear that you have to be like they make it clear now, evidence, proof. They call it evidence-based. Just another word to cross out community, street level people from getting money. So they said you got to partner with somebody. So, I talked to people, and, it was recommended that we talk to Phil Jackson, God rest his soul, with Blackstock. And he agreed to partner with us, although he had indicated that he didn't want to really be bothered, but he agreed because people that knew people, and there it was. So he, Blackstar, we ended up getting all 4 components of the proposal. The only vendor got that. And there's things that went into that, but I won't talk to that because I don't want folks thinking I'm trying to claim nothing. I ain't trying to claim nothing. I'm just trying to set the record straight. Culture Calm, that was the big umbrella. That's where the white folks got their money, and we don't know where it went. You understand? And then there's the mentoring, another piece that white folk, because that's where you got to prove you got certifications and credentials. So you need to be Asian, Hispanic, or white, or female to mentor black boys. And I told them from the get, that's foolishness. They spend a lot of money on a word called mentoring, but the person that's providing whatever it is that you call mentoring has got to be relevant and able to relate to the person that he or she is dealing with. So I already knew. But I put a little energy in it. And then there was the advocacy. I put a little energy in that because we went into the schools and we sit down with young people and we had discussions. Yes, we did. But then there was the part that I knew and I told the people at the time, all of the partners that we were dealing with, the only thing that's going to be left that the community is going to understand, and this is 12 years ago, is the community watch. But didn't nobody want to be bothered with community watch because it got the least amount of money of that pie, $7 million back in that day. But it's the only thing that the public saw. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the public have learned to either accept, respect, or like this week, get nasty. See? But things were in place. Things were put in place. And then Daley was gone. Huberman was gone. Mistake being that Huberman had left the police department, well, reassigned to Chicago Public Schools as the CEO. And of course, they gave that money to CPS, which was a mistake. They should have gave the money to CAPS. That's where the money should have been given because that's what it was, community alternative policing strategy. But that was politics, And then Rahm Emanuel came in. So that was the whole change. Rahm Emanuel come in and he closed schools. When it kicked off, we was able to deal with the fact because it was high schools and that's where it was jumping at. And then Rahm Emanuel come in and this creature, he decides to close 50-some schools, mostly grammar schools. And at that time they had what they call Track E. That means schools went part of the year. So this creature and his imps created a scam. And they snatched what could have been the key to helping keep things in place on a culture of calmness. Oh, it was all right. We know it was right. Because it was following the Harold Washington era program, Chicago Intervention Network. So we know. It was following the Harold Washington era program, Parent Patrol. So we know. And we had the leadership of the street organizations, the 5, the 6, the people, the folk. We had some of the toppest people in those groups on the streets at the time. And they was making things happen. Yeah, they were. Because we knew that you needed ex-offenders to be involved. People that had been and walked and come back. But then they took that experience of ex-offender and under the Rahm Emanuel regime, they used it to stop almost anybody with any type of offense. There was a male and some women damn near from even being considered to be out there. And now what you got? You know what you got. You drive around, you see. I doubt if you got 1% male involved in a program that got damn near 800 or 900 people. I'm saying all of that. Yes, I am. Because the community, the damn radio stations, and a lot of creatures with agendas called in and asked that the program be investigated, that the program be dismantled because something happened and a safe passage worker wasn't there. And there's a lot of reasons a person could not be where you think they should be. But do that mean you're supposed to destroy everything? You're supposed to destroy all these other people? No, that was popping, man. For the first 4 days of this week, that's all you could hear on some of these radio stations. All of that venom snapping on people working out there in the cold, in the sun, in the snow, in the rain. But that grew out of the Parent Patrol. That grew out of Community Watch. They only call them safe passage workers because of that creature, Rahm Emanuel. Safe passage for the little kids that was coming from other schools that had been closed into other areas. Walking through territories that was dangerous not only for little children and other people because of the dynamics of ignorance in the community. So somebody had enough sense to say, well, we can't really keep calling them community watchers because now people calling them snitches. People calling them highlighters. So you might want to think about a euphemism, just call them safe passage workers. But their job, the reason they was created was to watch. And there ain't nothing dishonorable about a watcher. But it didn't say become the police. It didn't say get in folks' business like that. It said watch. Now you say the person should have went over there and did something different. No, it couldn't. If it would have been there, they wouldn't have been able to do no more than the police. And that is observe and report, because they damn sure don't serve and protect no more. So anybody you see out there trying to do what's correct now, the way you think correct is, intervening, mediating, and preventing, them white folks done pulled the plug on all of that. And all they can do now is just give money to their little partners, and when you get ready for this $250 million that this creature that you all will probably be stupid enough to re-elect because of a party already spreading out, talking about evidence-based, ain't gonna be nobody with street credibility to get no money, because it got to be basically sent through some one of the universities or some hospital or some front that's been here for the last 70 years, and the only evidence base they got is that they failed. Or some pimp preacher who don't even know what the hell we talking about, but they call them faith-based, and they gonna get the money. So children are being attacked, assaulted, molested, and worse. And people are standing and moving around, but they are not able to do anything but observe and report. That's according to the system. Now, even if they could do anything, do you really think you would do anything? And a dude standing there with a damn machine gun, and you gonna try to talk and they say mind your business, what you gonna do? You gonna do just like anybody that got any common sense. You gonna mind your damn business. So when you get ready to throw a brick, you ought to be sure your head ain't exposed. You understand? But it had nothing to do with safe passage as a concept or as a group. It had to do with an incident. But that brings us to the real point. The real point is this purge law that you all are in denial about. From what I have heard, the perpetrator might have been taken into custody, but then released. Think. Now you got somebody that even if it was misidentified, as long as the question was there, you should have been finding out before you let him out. See what I'm saying? But come January the 1st, 2023, that's gonna be every day. They're gonna commit a crime and they're gonna be out before they even get processed. this type of situation, and then you get the report that somebody let out because of whatever excuse, and now you done got all these stupid politicians that was elected to say, okay, we ain't gonna have, the bail system is gonna be basically suspended, dismounted. And if you wanna commit a crime, a whole lot of crimes you committing, you don't have to worry about no more because we ain't gonna even, we ain't gonna lock you up because you just a poor black thing. You poor, so you can just go rape an 11-year-old. You poor, so you can just kill a senior citizen. You poor, so you can just take your place on somebody's steps and sell all of the dope you want to because you poor, But the person that has worked and struggled to get these things, if they do something to you, then they lose everything. But you, the criminal, we, the politicians, say you can do what you want to do. You understand? Rape them all. Take all of their property. Kill all of them. That's what you damn politicians are proposing and have put in place to become law. Sure need to be something done about that. The best way to do that is don't be a fool come next month when the time comes to choose. Omari, I know you got it set up to do something, but would you go and start out with this piece with Welch? Because that's what's going to be happening in Chicago. It said DeVore, D-E-V-O-R-E. That's the title on there, but it's Welch and it's real brief, where it's talking about what Welch is saying and what they're saying in response to this purge law. They want to call it Safety Act. See, no. And then we're going to go from there, we're going to go to this other piece, although the heading is misleading, where they are saying, they're talking about defied Democrats that's running for Senate that supports this insanity, no bail. See, these are things that I want to these are the things that I want to throw out here because the way we came into this. I wanted to come in another way, but we had to come in hot simply because of the fact that, it's still vibrating in the street. But they still asking that Safe Passage, Community Watch, be scrutinized and somehow held responsible for something they ain't had nothing to do with them.
Different from my own.
Run this piece, brother, and listen to this. Welch is all right with me, I guess, but listen to him.
It's important that I continue to listen and learn from perspectives that are different from my own.
But Republicans say that was not the case when the Safety Act got rushed through the legislature. Republican candidate for Attorney General Tom DeVore, a frequent critic of the law, wanted to ask Welch about that process.
Within 3 days, it's passed by both houses. I think it's impossible with a 750-page bill that they push through that fast. I don't think you could accomplish what the Speaker was talking about.
Well, it's quite obvious we're having some type of difficulty as it relates to me hearing it, and I think Omari hearing it. You heard it. Now, Omari, that other piece that we want to run right after that is the piece that say, meet the 5 Democrats in key Senate races who have expressed support for eliminating cash bail. Yeah, we want to deal with that because at the end of the day, it ain't just Chicago. It's these damn dumb behind Democrats all over the nation, and you dumb behind Negroes that act like you don't know no better. You know damn well that makes no sense. That's it. They're just coming in from a different angle, Omar. I guess because I can't. I see it and I see myself. Which one of these is happening?
Security.
Well, Amara, it looked like to me, since can't communicate, and I don't know what the hell is going on. I see a commercial and I see me, and I don't know what the people see.
Democrats to support increased spending on local police. That's according to a Pew survey from late last year. Look, politicizing crime seeks to gain from other people's pain. But trying to ignore crime for ideological reasons is both callous and clueless. And it's sure to promote a political backlash.
You know, I think one thing that we found is abortion was an issue that really helped Democrats. Now crime is an issue that is increasingly helping Republicans.
What about the issues and the strengths for each party? What you see here is you ask people, which party would you prefer on these issues? These are the three issues where Republicans score the strongest: the border, crime, and economy, by a margin of 36 points, 23 points, and 19 points. Voters say they would prefer the Republicans when it comes to these issues.
But look now in September, crime, 71% to just 29% for abortion. That is basically back to the pre-Roe v. Wade overturning sort of baseline, where we were back in April, where crime was making up 74% of the searches versus abortion at just 26%.
The messaging they're getting, particularly from the right, is that crime is out of control, particularly in states or cities that are run by Democrats. And we know that when you poll voters, asking them which party do they think can handle certain issues better, they say that Republicans handle crime issues better.
Now, I mean, how is it that Negroes live in crime-ridden areas and they don't believe that? And they refuse to accept that. And they say because the people are Republicans that say what our experience is, then that's the wrong person to vote for. You see how, I mean, it makes no sense to me. The truth is, I don't give a damn what party you in. If you can stop the crime and address the other needs that the community or the colony has, forget your party, give me the person that's gonna do it. And for you Negroes to sit here and keep trying to dissuade and ambush people that say what that woman just said and the people at that table were saying, it's just ridiculous. You want to be pleasing to your master, but your master don't care nothing about you. You can see that. So the thing, and they said something, and I think, I hope it's true, that this woman, I can't even think of her damn name, down there in Atlanta, that's trying to be Abrams, trying to be governor again. But you all did this to her. You did. Last time, you all put that wedge between the black male and your backbone, the female, black. You see? But they say now what's happening is that the black male is not going along. So now they concerned that the black male ain't following the script because he ain't running to her and she black. No. And he might vote for somebody else. You see? So now just being a female and just being black don't guarantee you victory. Although the other person can be white and a Klansman, like Biden said he is. And you Negroes just love him to death. But we'll see what happens. Because when it's over in Georgia and you see what happened, you just remember, you did that. You allowed the media to put you, Negro, in a position where you divided the black female and the black male. And at some point, and I'm saying this as a black male, at some point, if that's what you want to do, Slick, go with your master. But the man got to stand on his own, and we're going to go with who we got to go with. If we go, and I'm saying we got to go, we ain't going to sit out no election. But we damn sure ain't gonna just vote for your party, female, just because they got you telling us to do that. No, we are not. No, we're not. So what you need to do is come together with us. And don't worry about the party, worry about getting the job done. You understand that? Run these two pieces by this young sister, who I think is a real interesting character. But y'all love to hate her.
Kanye West that put the White Lives Matter t-shirt on first. You did. You did by intentionally ignoring what Black Lives Matter would actually mean if it was applied. It would mean taking a look at the real problem that is happening, which is our culture, a celebration of perversity pitched to us as if it's diversity. It's not. It is not diversity that we are celebrating. It is perversity. You think that it's something to be proud of. It's not. So when you say something like, oh, Candace Owens, we don't want you in our culture. You don't understand Black culture. I have to keep reminding you that I don't want to be a part of this culture. I want to go backward. Your idea of progressivism is clearly regressive.
Nah, you want to hate her for telling the truth.
It wasn't Kanye West that put the White Lives Matter t-shirt.
Now check this. Kanye done took a beating. He losing all type of business and endorsements and da-da-da-da-da. Maybe not so much because of the t-shirt, because he said something as it relates to the Jewish something or another. And you know, any Negro know by now, you don't even say Jew. You really have to use the alphabet and say J. If you think I'm lying, ask Rupi Goldberg. Because they told her she had to drop her last name. And all these years, she been their gal. They allowed her to say she was a Jew. Boy, but once she said what they didn't want to hear, bam. And now this is your young man, he done said something. Remember, 4 years ago, he was saying he was going to run for governor in 2024. And now he done got caught up. And you want to make a mess, and we talked about it last week, about this T-shirt. There ain't nothing wrong with nobody wearing whatever T-shirt they want to wear. White Lives Matter. A Black person should be able to wear that. Black Lives Matter. White folks wear that. All Lives Matter. That's more like what I would wear, because it's the only thing that makes sense. Every life matters. And for anybody out here to think they so mighty that they can flip the script and make you feel guilty for wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt, you need to take that t-shirt and then I'm gonna leave that alone. Stop being stupid. Because most of these folks you going around, what's that woman named Vice President? White lives got to matter to her. Her husband is white, Lightfoot. White lives got to matter to her. Her wife, her partner is white. Clarence Thomas, his wife is white. That Supreme Court woman, Jackson, her husband is white. So yeah, white lives matter. So why y'all lying? Why y'all trying to act like you upset? Just because you got a platform, your platform don't make you right. It just gives you a way to run your mouth. And the bottom line is, I'm gonna run mine because I ain't going. That little woman that just got through talking, she was absolutely right. She don't want that culture. I don't blame her. She don't want to be a damn hoe. That's what's on now. Some of the stuff we want to show you, we can't show you because, you know, it's the whole culture now. And that's what's up. That's your level of culture. What woman want that? So what did she do? She went and got her a white husband. That woman that played tennis real good, she went and got her a white husband. And all you folks running around here trying to make a mess out of that, who the hell y'all think y'all fooling? And, I mean, it was a big thing in the newspaper not long ago where the newspaper was doing editorials encouraging Negro women to find somebody out of their race. Did you all forget that? So who are you to get off in Kanye's business? Get off in the Owens' business for a t-shirt. Next piece, man. Run it, whatever it is.
Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filings. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Where have you seen that money impacted throughout the city? So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's a dead end, so. And here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies. That's incredible that the majority of the world hasn't seen this.
You know, I mean, today I'm throwing the dice because there's things that I wanted to get out here, but I know that that piece might not be played. I heard music sounds and this and that, and somebody might say that's their video. I mean, it is what it is. It's on social media, so we used it. And I've used it because of the fact that the woman, she presented something, and she's absolutely right. You let those three stooges that some rich, super rich white man chose to talk about black men being killed by the police, or blacks, period. But they don't even like black men. They don't like men, period. So how in the hell they gonna become the advocates and the leader of something of Black Lives Matter, and then they supposed to tell other people? Do you remember Ice Cube? When they had that female on there with that other little Negro dude? And they were saying how disqualified Ice Cube was and how he wasn't this and he wasn't that because he was talking about signing a contract, getting Negroes on the agenda as it relates to the presidential candidates. And it appeared that Trump had responded to something that he submitted, and Biden said, I don't care, woo-woo, and didn't. And all you all decided to just attack Ice Cube, along with that little Black Lives Matter scam, and then I beat you for over 80 million. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing was a scam. But you want to embrace that. You want to defend that. But you want to go after Kanye and that orange person because of who they choose to talk about or like or vote for. But who are you? You vote for who you vote for. But you don't have to go around and try to make them public enemy number one, number two. No. Because what they saying is more truthful than what you saying. She got a point. I want to know about that money too. The money makes more sense as it relates to something that was done wrong than her wearing a t-shirt that's saying White Lives Matter. Surely she and Kanye are the worst people you could have chose to use that on. Because her husband is white. So he matter to her. So she can wear that t-shirt. Kanye, baby mama. I don't know if it's still his wife or not. She look white to me. I don't know what she is. So sure, I say that so you can understand how petty. People been real petty the last 2 weeks in Chicago. They have. That whole thing about trying to destroy a program that's a good program just because of something and somebody had a little petty agenda. And last week, that whole thing about Kanye and this woman and that other dude down there, that football player that's running against that bootleg preacher. But the bootleg preacher is part of that video, that piece we had, that the senators that support elimination catch bail. Did you think Herschel Walker would say eliminate cash bail for the criminal that's out here working havoc? Probably not. But you say, I don't want him. Why? Because I think he's a Republican. You so stupid. But you want this so-called preacher. And he gotta know, down there in Atlanta, he gotta know that you need cash bail if for no more than a deterrent. At least use it as the boogeyman. But now you taking away all deterrent and just making it easier for the criminal to penalize the innocent communities more. Yeah. We ain't gonna say much more. We ain't gonna say much more simply because of the fact
Revealing
that some
more of the
things
devastating
are happening that don't
on
make sense at
kids
all.
during the COVID shutdowns as ACT tests dropped to their lowest scores in 30 years. Our next guest says it's all part of the fallout from schools pushing a social justice agenda. Here to explain is the host of the Fifth Column podcast. Speaking of great podcast, Camille Foster. Good to have you.
Good to be with you.
So why, a lot of people will just look at this and say, okay, so obviously that's because people were locked down, they weren't paying attention, it's hard to learn on Zoom. Is that what this was?
Well, no, there's been a precipitous decline in these scores on average for a number of decades now. And when we talk about the ACT, we're talking about math, science, English, and reading. Readiness for college. And we're talking about students in maybe the top 35% of all graduating seniors. These are kids who have their futures ahead of them, who think that they ought to be able to go to college. And we're finding out that something like 40% of them are not prepared to tackle these subjects at a college level.
Well, they're all in the same boat, though. I mean, if 40%, there's going to be kids who are as far behind as they are. So you've got to wonder, do the parents realize that the kids have fallen so far behind? When they're sitting at the computer, the average parent, if your kid is in high school, does not understand the homework. So it's not like they can actually help them with a lot of stuff.
I think there's an increasing number of parents who are very concerned about this. I think the increasing popularity of things like school choice, for example, is a pretty good indication of the fact that there's growing concern about this. But I also think it's worth us taking into consideration what's been happening in public schools over the last couple of years. I mean, we've been having these pitched ideological battles about what should be taught in school. And the real question is whether or not anything is being taught meaningfully in school. We've dismantled our best performing schools throughout New York City and places like San Francisco. And we're doing what exactly? It seems like a race to the bottom.
Well, and that's, I'm glad you mentioned that, because ultimately the United States has always regarded we are at the forefront of education, but when you look at the list of countries, we're usually in the middle these days. But what does it say about the future of this country if future leaders and the future population can't, not everybody's at the same grade level and they're falling behind?
That is exactly the right question, and it's a profoundly bad indicator of where things are headed. Fortunately, again, there's a growing move towards homeschooling and microschooling and some of these other trends, so hopefully that will help, but we have to take this very seriously.
So when you look at the teachers' unions, and they're very powerful, you would think that they would be horrified by the fact that obviously if the kids aren't learning, you got to look at the teachers.
Yeah, well, the system seems to be failing a number of parents in profound ways and their students. And it's worth taking into account the teachers' unions serve the interests of teachers, and the interests of teachers may or may not be in line with the interests of students. We've seen faculty and staffing on public school campuses increase profoundly, but test scores still seem to be going down. Performance still seems to be either flatlining or declining.
Sure.
And that's simply not a sustainable situation.
And so parents are going, all right, I want my kid to know as much as they can. What should parents be doing in the run-up to them leaving the house?
Well, if they don't have school choice in their area, if that's not an option for them, they should get involved with their local politics and do something about that. They should get involved with the school board, and they should take a close look at pedagogy. I mean, honestly, if it's the senior year already, you're probably in a bad situation. But if it's early on, there are other things that you can do. Encourage your kids to read. We know that kids who read frequently, and that's been a declining percentage of all students, but kids who read frequently have a better chance at succeeding in education broadly and certainly in higher education.
That is great advice. Check out his podcast. It's called The Fifth Column. Camille Foster, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You back in the studio.
Thank you.
Now, I ain't gonna say too much on that because it speaks for itself. But it's amazing. But you find that piece with Phil Donahue Amara, that's what schools are concerned about. That's what unions are concerned about. They ain't concerned about teaching kids nothing. They ain't concerned about no damn test. They concerned about this other agenda. You know what I'm saying? You know, right now we really got a situation in this country. What you got in this country is not about education. It's about a whole different alternative culture. Something that, and Negroes sitting back and they just done decided to embrace it. And they want to pretend that they don't know the difference between what they was taught as it relates to right from wrong. And I think one of the things that is happening, now I won't say that's got to do with the ACT, but a lot of things happening in those schools definitely ain't got too much to do with learning as we used to know learning. It's got to do with saying that what you know to be true, and that is you was born a boy or you was born a girl, but you decided that you wanted to be what you say you are. That's what the schools are about now. And there's an article there that I didn't put up there as it relates to, it ain't way down there, that relates to what they doing in Virginia. They got some dude trying to get a law passed that parents will be locked up if they get off into a disagreement with their children about their children's so-called pronoun choice. You know, check that piece there. I think that's it there. Yeah, I want y'all to just hear this because it's part of it. This is what your problem is right here. And look at who's talking. But while he's getting that done, what's going to be interesting, you got this, and it's a sadness. That's what's happening in this society. And for people to sit around and act like they don't see it and they don't understand it.
That now you can't say. You can't say that. I mentioned a few of them before, and I'm just curious. Some of these maybe are obvious, but if you know why some of these are on the list now.
Mom and dad, I see why that would be up there.
Okay, why would mom and dad be up there?
I have a daughter with another woman, and when it's being taught in school that, that's just the norm, that it's just mom and dad, it kind of offends us because we are lesbians, you know what I mean? We come from the community and it makes us feel like we're not important enough to be called mom and mom or parents.
So should I stop saying that?
No, not you.
Because you're mom and mom?
No, not you per se. I'm just saying as far as it's being taught.
Anybody. If that was our experience, yours is mom and mom. I'm happy to say mom and mom, but why would mom and dad be on the don't say list? Why not add mom and mom?
I get your point on that.
Add dad and dad. But why is mom and dad offensive to your sensibilities?
I mean, to be honest, because it's being taught to my daughter and she doesn't have a father figure. She sees two mothers. And so every time she reads something that says dad in there, you can see a little bit in her eyes. It's like, well, what's going on over there? Why don't I have a dad?
Now, we give credit to Phil Donahue and them. I hope we can use that. But they made the point. The point is, you see how they chose that female there? See, that's because you become a tool to be used by these people. She know herself that they would have been better off having a parakeet speak than her. She's just running her mouth. Hold it on that spot with that pretty woman. Go back to that. That's going to come up in a minute because she's going to show. Yeah, just hold her for a minute. Now, I said she's pretty. She is pretty. Depends on what you're looking at and what you think is pretty. Run her right now, brother. I'll come back to that parakeet. They couldn't even explain why.
It's easy to look good when you're in your 20s, your 30s, maybe even in your 40s. But the real flex is pulling that off when you're in your 50s. But the dopest flex is when the 30s and the 40s are being compared to the 50 and 60-year-olds. Amen. But the dopest flex is when you can still pull in the granddaddy, the daddy, and the grandson. Yeah. So, who's really winning?
Now.
You know.
Now go on and get in the mirror. Now a vet spoke. And all you little wannabe creatures with your little filtered images you running all over the place, you need to go look at that vet. And she had a point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all out here looking like y'all 70 years old and y'all ain't 22. And then you got them, anyhow, body parts that ain't gonna last long as your shoes. And you sitting here. But then you take a vet from back in the day like what you just saw, and she's sitting there, she playing it, but you think, bam. That piece about Harold Washington, I don't think we're gonna use that because I think they're gonna say that's advertising. But I think it's a documentary. I like to use it, but I don't want to take a chance of having the program or this presentation tied up. So would you find that piece by what's his jig, Lemons? We talked about it when they were talking about reparations when the Queen died and how that young girl came and she did her commentary.
And
now
poor
this
Don
is
Lemon.
something else. Want you to see what white folks are doing while you running your damn mouth thinking that you the only one can talk. Do you think white folk care about what you saying, Negro? They're having the same conversation.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Carmine Sabia. And poor Don Lemon, well, he was reduced to tears as he realizes that his time in prime time on CNN is just over. His show ended last night after 8.5 years. And, well, let's just say he promised not to break down, but then he did. Before we get started on that, folks, I want you to take some time to please like this video, share this video, and comment on this video. Let us know what you think of it. Also, if you're on YouTube or Rumble, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out when you do all of those things. It's a big help to us. So, let's help us get conservative news out to the people. The only people that can do that for us is you. So as I was saying, Lemon took to his little show last night, ratings dwindling, not a lot of people interested in him for a long time, very partisan guy by most standards, and he managed to do a couple things. First, he broke his promise about not getting emotional, as you'll see in the video I'm going to show you. I put together some of the highlights just for you to see so you didn't have to sit through the whole 8-minute diatribe that he put on. But he also managed, in his parting shots, to go ahead and take some shots at former President Donald Trump. Let's take a look.
Well, look, this is it. The final Don Lemon tonight. It is a bittersweet moment for me, but it is not going to be a sad moment. I'm not going to be sad about it. I'm just going to miss working with all of the great people who really work their butts off every single day to put this show on the air. So tonight this isn't about me. This is about you guys who are in the control room and in the studio. You will always be my family. We were all in this together. When the critics attacked me, you had my back. When conservatives attacked me, you had my back. When liberals attacked me, you had my back. When racists attacked, you had my back. And speaking of, when the former president sent armies of bigots and people who threatened my life after me, you had my back as well. I was not always perfect, because no one is perfect, because there are immense pressures that come with this job, and in particular, this time slot at 10 o'clock when people are going to bed. So sometimes all I could do, I'm going to be honest with you, is just smile and just get to the commercial break sometimes. Sometimes it was exhausting, because some of the things that we discuss here are so personal and so all-consuming. So I hope I made you proud, and I thank you for tuning in all these years, and I hope that you're going to join me in the morning. So I will simply say good night, and I will see you soon. Great, so I'm going to leave. And I'm going to go upstairs.
See what he's going to say. Now, I've been hearing that his time was short. I liked him. Yes, I did. But you know, sometimes positions and platforms and all those type of things, they sort of make you get the big head. And the problem is, a big head just make a bigger sound when it pops. But the point is this, and I want to say this to us, because Negroes are always talking about white folk, white folk. You can't hardly have a conversation with a Negro. They always using the word white folk. You don't hear white folk usually saying Negro, 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 black, black, black. They refer to you as a person, that guy, da 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 da, or by your name. They do that. But Negroes are fixated on the so-called color terms. White folks this, white folks that, black this, black that. You know, and you like that little person of color in black and brown with your clown behind. You see how that white man did that? He wasn't spitting on venom. He just presented it. He didn't call him an N word. You see how they got me trained? He didn't call him that. He didn't try to slam him. He just presented it. But what do the Negro do? The Negro jump on another Negro and want to stomp him all the way into hell. But when a white man says you living in a hellhole, you want to say the white man is lying. See how stupid you are? The white man telling the truth. You live in a hellhole. And you got politicians that's giving the devil a fork and a lighter to burn you up, to roast you more. And that's what you want, and you want to tell other people that's what they ought to do because of a party. You the one need to be determining what party you going to. Because the truth is, what's happening now, ain't nobody safe. And I know this young man, Lemon, we didn't let it go all the way to the other end. He finna have another show on the same station, I think, at night, part of a pound. And you heard him make that crack about it being at 10 o'clock and people going to bed. Now you say that on your way out. But hey, you know what I mean? It was just a big thing for you having it. You was a big man, but now you said, well, it's 10 o'clock at night, so now I'm gonna be doing something else. Whatever it takes to make you feel better, that's good. But the point is, the white folk is your master. And white folks do it the way they want it. So for us, particularly the black male, the Negro male, we need to start being men, whatever that is that we define. Because we see a young person like him and his private, personal lifestyle, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't care. That don't mean nothing to me. I liked him because he was a young black man in a tall spot. And I called him a young black man simply because of the fact that that's what I saw. You understand? But like that parakeet they were talking about when when this daughter read a book and she see father, she see man, and she look at them saying, well, why don't I have one? Yeah, you can't explain that. Even a child know that something wrong with that. Where my dad? Oh, well, I'm your mama and your dad. Oh, that child don't want to hear that. But that's what you've been reduced to. And you hate Candace Owens because she might be considered a conservative. But she don't want part of that culture. I don't want part of that culture either. I really don't. Because it don't make sense, y'all. It don't. Now, Amari, we ain't gonna talk about none of them damn situations with them immigrants. Because the fact that, is disturbing. Now, this dude, Biden done switched, and now he's using that Title 42 on them, the Venezuelans, and they saying, man, that ain't fair, and it ain't. Sent Harris over there and told them people to come to America, and now you send them to New Mexico. The people say, hell, I could have stayed home. Now you sending me to Mexico, and I know I don't want to be in Mexico. That's what you get for following a Democrat. You understand that? Now look at them people. And then you got the mayor of New York saying, whoa, this is an emergency. We're going to spend over $1 billion this year trying to handle these immigrants. We can't handle that. We ain't got that in the budget. But that's what you all like. That's what you want. And you got a midterm coming, and you want to, I'm going to leave that alone too, because this ain't no political platform. But the truth of the matter is, things ain't looking too good. But the reason I'm bypassing that is this, Omar. See, there's two pieces here. One about that young parents in Wyoming that can't eat. They Hispanics look like. They can't eat. And then there's another one right there where this dude killed these people that's sleeping on a car. Those are going to be our two last pieces, and then we're going to do the tree. Instead of showing you those immigrants coming from wherever they coming from, because whatever condition they in, we want to show you what's real. And we ain't going to show you Negroes. We want to show you here's a family living on a car.
Jesus Montiel,
and what
a
happened
sales
to them.
manager at Teton Toys, and Krista Montiel, a stay-at-home mom of their 2-year-old daughter, both join me now. Jesus, what sacrifices are you making right now to get by?
I mean, at this time right now, because things are so tough, I'm doing anything and everything I can to be able to provide for my family. That includes driving an hour and a half one way to and from work and working literally all day. I get to see my daughter twice a week. My bad.
That's heartbreaking. I also read in the notes that you sent, you're surviving right now on 2 cups of ramen per day. You look like an adult male. You need more than 2 cups of ramen, but you're sacrificing so your wife and your daughter can eat. Did you ever imagine you would ever have to make such sacrifices so your family could survive?
I had imagined it, but I never thought it would actually happen to me. I'm going to be honest.
Unbelievable. Krista, how are you finding ways to save money?
I only eat maximum of 1 meal and like 2 snacks through the day, so I can make sure my daughter has enough food as well to eat at home without putting us in too much of a financial bind.
Oh, my gosh. The overall cost of food up 11%, 11.4%. Groceries up 13.5%. Hey, Jesus, is the White House doing enough to keep families like yours afloat right now?
Honestly, I feel like they can be doing more. But
like what? What do you want to see them do?
You know, I haven't really put too much thought into it, but I feel like if they try to put an effort to at least help out in a little bit of the day-to-day, that would be great.
Krista, how's the rest of your community doing?
Pardon?
The people in your community, are they making similar sacrifices to you?
I know a lot of them are, especially parents around our age. They're all having a really difficult time. A lot of them don't have the support that I do with my husband. So I can't imagine what they're having to do to make ends meet. But yes, there's definitely a lot of people within our community that have some monetary issues.
Jesus, final question. How's your daughter doing?
She's happy. And honestly, that's more than what I can ask for right now with how everything is.
You know, in the media, we often talk about what a real man is. Jesus going without, so his family, his daughter specifically, can be happy, like he said right there. That's what it's all about. Jesus, you're a real man. Krista, you're a heck of a mom. Thank you for joining us this morning. Best of luck to you. This is not the way American dreams should be.
Yeah, I figured I'd throw that at you. You see, you're spending all this time and all this money on immigrants. And in Chicago and Illinois, they're giving them guaranteed incomes. They're going to feed them, house them, do everything for them. And you got people that look just like them, speak Spanish just like they do. And hell, they can't hardly survive. So why are you bringing illegal people here that look like what you just saw? Don't even talk about the Negro. Y'all don't give a damn about whether the Negro survive or not. I know that. That's why I'm using these other people. Because then you can see they too are suffering. How do you think they feel? They looking at all of these millions, 2 million since Biden been in office, immigrants, basically from where they from, that done come over here illegally. And now these folks over here can't eat. They damn near starving to death, and the people that came over here said they came over here because they were doing the same thing in their country. So now they're over here, and now they can eat. They can get a house. They can get a job. They can get everything, but the person that was here all the time, that came here legally, can't get nothing. See? But y'all love that party y'all love so much, huh? Now show them this piece here about this dude that's being arrested for shooting them homeless people. And they ain't black either, I don't think.
Good morning, everybody.
He ain't.
So we are very pleased to report this morning that we've made a very significant arrest in the Oregon Avenue shooting that we had a few days ago. You guys are all familiar with the fact that we had a homeless family of 5 down on their luck, sleeping in their car when they were apparently randomly targeted by a shooter who came through and unloaded his 9mm weapon, striking the mother who was sleeping in the car in the head. Fortunately, the mother is recovering from her injuries. The kids were not struck. And our detectives and our police officers here at Tampa PD worked tirelessly for the past several days and were able to make an arrest. 21-year-old Christopher Stammet is currently in the Hillsborough County Jail with no bond. So just to give you a little rundown of how it went, just to recap what happened, as you know, the family was sleeping in the car down on their luck. They were from another state. They were just recently brought to the Tampa area. A witness saw a 2-door sedan that he described as either a 2006 to 2012, possibly a BMW coupe.
That's enough of that.
Our detectives, again, worked tirelessly scanning the area for video. We were able to find video from some residences and from businesses, and we identified.
Come from one state to another one for a better life. But they live in their car. Homeless. But yet, some people can come illegally from another country. And the state will guarantee them a place to stay, work, food, and better than the person that moved from one state to another state. And in that state, what the other people say they running from in the country they from, these people here from another state in the United States run into the same end result. They're homeless. They live in a car, which means they're hungry. And a criminal shoots into the car, hitting the mother in the head. They catch him, put him in jail. But thank God for the people in Florida. He got a bail. Had he been in Chicago, he would have been allowed to go home and go back and kill the children. You see how stupid y'all are? You damn Democrats. You keep trying to make excuses for this? It makes no sense. And had we played the two that showed you what done happened in the last few days with those light-skinned Spanish-speaking people from Venezuela, the ones that, what's his name, Biden loves so much, you'll see them. They're all standing out there in a line, headed the other way. I guess the Martha Vineyard piece ran out. Play that tree, man, and we out of here. And I want you to see the tree because I want to say a little bit about the tree. Yes, sir. Run that 10, 13, 22. Tree. You see that face up there? Saw the lower part of this tree last year. Don't that look like a human? Look at it. Saw the fat? See that little dot in his eye? Look at that face. Look at his lips, chin. That's the one we, last year. That's where it started right there. See that? Spirit of the tree. Ain't nobody did no carving. I don't give a damn about what you talking about, what I'm doing. I'm showing you what's there that you walk by every day. Just wanted you to see that. We showed you a tree last week. I wish you could make that blow up. Hold it right there for a minute, Amara. I want them to see. Look closely. You see them eyes? You can see that little old dot in the middle of the eye. You see that nose right there? You see them lips? Don't them look like your lips? Don't that look like somebody in your family in that tree? Mama Nature did that. Father Time did that. And you say you believe in God? You know God? If you knew God, sucker, you'd be able to see God. Don't tell me you believe in something that you can't see. Yeah, that's God right there, that tree, showing you what God does. But now you going around telling me that look like a male. Now we have showed you some that look like women. Nature know the difference. But now you going to determine that what nature has shown, which I mean God when I say nature, that you have a tongue stronger than the voice of God, which is spoken into that tree that make that little fat face, all of those features look like an artist did it. Look at them jaws. Look at it. Why I think look, you see his beard down there? See the little thing up under his eyes? He's sort of like me. His little eyes got a little bags under his eyes. He look just like you. Little chubby thing. Until next week, alafia, peace, and good health.